So in the past, every time you wanted to work with a big industry, you always went directly to it. You needed a loan, you went straight to the bank. You needed insurance, you partnered directly with your insurance broker. And if you needed a phone plan, you went straight to the carrier. You went to their store, their website. It never actually converged around the consumer. But today, services are actually centering around the consumer, making it more convenient and more flexible for them to actually use all the services where they are shopping, where they are checking out, in the systems that they're already using. These product experiences are becoming embedded. But this also brings more revenue, often reoccurring revenue, for the companies offering this service. And at the same time, it also increases the stickiness for the consumer. More convenience, more stickiness, a happier consumer in general. We've seen this in the past with big tech companies coming in, Apple coming in with the computer, Google coming in with search, and Amazon actually being an e-commerce company. But today, they're building a lot of products around it. They're building payments, they're becoming hardware companies, they're becoming entertainment companies. And that's just a part of what they're doing. They're going into healthcare and many other sections. But how do they actually do this? You have, for example, smaller companies like Revolut that are also coming in and are building from their payments infrastructure, building other services around it, because they know they have the attention of the customer. They know the customer trusts them and loves their product. So they're also expanding. So with Revolut, you can now come in, pay for your lunch, get insurance, and at the same time also trade stock. But the problem is, these companies aren't getting that much bigger. They don't have that much more time in the day. They also have to still focus on the product that they're selling. And in order to do that, they need to partner with infrastructure companies. A lot of these infrastructure companies that we already know are coming in with payments, they're coming in web services, they're coming in insurance, and many more. Stripe, for example, allowed you to start with having just a very basic few lines of code, embedding that into your product, and now no engineer, no product team really had to understand end-to-end what you need in order to embed payments into your product. This allowed payments to become, or all of these infrastructure products to become embeddable and programmable. They're becoming more scalable and more secure because these companies spend all their time, all their resources to solve this one very special problem so other companies can easily embed it and have a faster time to market. But as you saw, and that's what we're talking about today, a key industry is missing, and we alluded to that before. Everybody in this room has one phone plan. Some might even have two, either with eSIM or having a second company device. But this industry is missing on this entire infrastructure list. Every time you want to actually engage with a carrier product, it kind of becomes extremely complicated. You don't even know where to start. You need to hire an entire team, consultants. You need to spend millions in research, millions in commitments with a carrier, because it's so much work for them, for an operator, and this is like Telecom, Vodafone, Telefonica, to work with an individual company that it's impossible for them to really launch quickly. So if you want to go and actually also launch your own mobile service, you need to start everywhere from carrier sourcing, figuring out how it works, looking at the different service provider, integrating third-party services, testing, building the product, configuration, and then what you did is you launched in exactly one market. And then you need to maintain the entire thing. So you have an entire team working on this if it's not your actual core product. And as you can imagine, that's much too expensive and time-consuming for any company to actually do. That's where Gigs comes in. Gigs allows innovators around the world to build new connectivity products and services. And that's why we have a telecom-as-a-service platform for you to actually come in and, with just a matter of days, use our platform and our infrastructure to immediately launch in any market that you are operating in. Because companies these days are not just focusing on Germany, they're not just in Austria, not just in the United States, they actually go and expand into multiple markets. They're in North America, they're in Europe. And Gigs makes this possible with a single API integration. And that's where kind of this comparison comes in. We're building for telecom what Stripe did for payments. But the question is, how is that even possible? Why can we do it? And what are we actually adding in this value chain? Is we're partnering with the carriers around the world, and we're using all of their core products and bundling them together into a single platform so that you as a company, if you want to launch into this industry, you can use our API to build anything you want. You can build it into your checkout, you can build it into your user experience, you can build completely new end-to-end experience, pulling phone plans, any type. Gig's dashboard is just an interface which you can run that entire operator, see all these subscriptions, manage all the analytics, manage the end-to-end experience, even launch a new phone plan. You want to launch an unlimited plan tomorrow in the United States, you go into dashboard, you activate it, and it's live. Gigs Connect is just a simple payments link, a single checkout link. You put this link in front of your audience, and they can immediately buy a phone plan in a matter of minutes. And they can also manage it there. And this is constantly being optimized for conversion and building new products, so you as a consumer, if you put this link in front of your customers, actually have a new experience like they're familiar with the payment space. And then Gigs Payments, that just basically allows you to take money from your customers on a reoccurring basis, and it actually works out all the difficult kinks there are in the telecommunications space when it comes to collecting money on a monthly basis. We work with a variety of industries to do this. We started with OEMs. OEMs is phones, wearables. These hardware manufacturers, they have devices that only work if there's a SIM card inside, but how to actually get that SIM card has always been onto the consumer. With Gigs, they're able to embed that straight into their product and bundle it into a single subscription. Then you have companies in the banking space. Neobanks becoming super apps, adding more services around the consumer to make it more convenient for them. You have employee management. I'm sure everybody here has tried to cancel, upgrade, change your own phone plan, and probably got incredibly frustrated doing so. Imagine doing that for 50 to 500 employees, and doing that on a constant basis. And then the creator economy and lifestyle brands. These brands have a very captive audience. The audience trusts this person, this company, and these companies are trying to actually build new revenue streams, and phone plans are a very stable, very long-term strategy to do so. And then, of course, you have e-commerce. And e-commerce is something that we're going to talk about, Stephan's going to talk about a little bit more today, what we did with Grover. But there also you have devices that are refurbished, that are new, or in this case, that are rented.
Awesome. Thank you, Dennis. Hello, everyone. So who's Grover, and why are we talking about phone plans today? Well, in the last years, we have not only seen that industries are converging, we have also seen that products and services are getting redefined by one term, and that's flexibility. So why flexibility? Why does it matter to us, everyone in this room? We love it from a consumer perspective because we can get more value out of the products and services which we are using. It means we can use them on our terms, when we want to use them, how long we want to use them, and also making sure we are only getting charged for exactly this usage period. And if we think about our own everyday life, just think about the car you're taking to get from A to B, the scooter without owning it, the holiday apartment you're renting over the summer without buying it, the favorite movie you're watching, the music you're listening to without possessing it, and so on and so on. The list goes on. All of that is boiling down that we're having flexible access to products and services without owning them. The question, though, is what about consumer tech? Just looking into this room, think about how many smartphones, laptops, camera we have in this room. How do you access that? And consumer tech is an interesting challenge, an interesting industry, because the innovation cycle is very fast. So new devices are coming to the market at light speed. At the same point in time, consumer tech can also be very costly. So what are you doing if you cannot afford, for instance, a high-end laptop, a high-end smartphone, a high-end camera? You can save money aside, but the problem with that is it takes time until you can access it. The alternative to that is that you can finance it. But financing leaves you with another problem. Why should you finance something for 3 years if you only need to use it for 3 months? And at the same point in time, what happens with a great device in a great condition, which is ending up in your drawer? This is not really sustainable neither, right? And this is exactly the problem we've been addressing with Grover. So Grover basically enables customers to get flexible access to tech in a very seamless manner. So you can go to our rental platform and you can select your device of choice out of thousands of products, hundreds of categories, hundreds of brands. And it's very simple. You need a scooter, you need a laptop, you need a smartphone. You define on your own what is the rental plan and basically go ahead, check out and enjoy the product. And after you have rented it, you can send it back to us, where we will make sure it's getting refurbished and we recirculate it back into the market. So this is where we started with our core offering, providing a rental platform for consumers and for businesses and making it very easy to get access to tech. But for us, it didn't stop here. In the last years, we were gradually and strategically going towards new expansion areas to make sure that on the one hand, we can enhance and create additional value for our customers, but also for our business. And a couple of examples is, for instance, if we take B2B. So we are also providing our solution to business customers who need to ramp up their business, who need to get access to devices. Think about your business owner who is growing, and you need smartphones, you need laptops to get those 50 employees equipped with the right tech. This is exactly what you can do right now. So B2B is a very exciting expansion area for us, but so is embedded finance. Dennis was talking about convergence and enablement. This is exactly what we did, for instance, with partners such as Visa and Solaris Bank. We brought our own consumer card proposition to the market where we merged loyalty and consumer tech, and many more additional exciting areas. But something which is really interesting for us and where we're investing more and more time is what we call value-adding services. So we are taking a look at our core offering and think about how can we expand it and augment it in order to address a clear user need, and at the same point in time making sure that we're also increasing the business value. And a fantastic example is what we have done with Gigs. So we call it Grover Connect. So what is Grover Connect? Grover Connect basically enables you as a customer to get a custom phone plan on top of your smartphone subscription. So if you come to us and you're renting a smartphone, you now also have the choice to clearly say how long would you like to have this phone plan basically running on your terms, selecting how much bandwidth you need. And then it's very easily and seamlessly activated through an eSIM card. So why do we care about smartphones and about the rental plan? And how does the journey look like? So smartphones are, amongst other, one of the most demanded categories at Grover for business customers and consumers. And what we learned over time is that customers, of course, love to have a flexible smartphone subscription, but on top of that, some said, I would love to have the same flexibility from my carrier. Don't want to be locked into a plan. Let's take a look at Hillary, for example. She, for instance, loves to get access to the latest tech. And currently, she would love to get the new Samsung Galaxy S23 because it has great camera. But on top of that, she would love to also keep her flexibility based on the phone plan which she's accessing. And this is exactly what we're bringing to the market with Gigs. So let's go through the flow, and let's have a closer look like how it looks and works. So we started with a very quick MVP to make sure that we can launch very quickly. And Gigs is offering for us a multi-layer integration. So we can decide exactly to what is the fidelity we want to go to the market in stage 1 and stage 2. And today we are presenting an update to that. So how does the flow look and work? So as a customer, I go to grover.com. I go to the app, I go to our store, and I can search for either a very specific device. I can browse all our categories. In that example, we are now going for the Samsung Galaxy S23. By selecting my device of choice, I can browse through the details of it and select my rental plan. Like how long do I want to need it? Do I want to rent it? Is it 1 month, 3 months, 6 months? In that case, Hillary is going for the 12-month plan. Hillary is also getting reassured that her device is protected against damage. And at the bottom, Hillary is now getting presented with an add-on, which is a phone plan, an eSIM card, which is adding to her basket.
And what Grover now did with Gigs is they built custom phone plans into that checkout that the consumer can browse that fits their purchasing and their rental behavior. And in this case, we're going to choose an unlimited plan. And this is now embedded into the checkout. They can see the entire overview of what the plan actually is, make it super simple, break out all the complexities. The user has to go nowhere else. They can do it right inside of the Grover application. And they can very easily select that plan. If that plan is then selected to the checkout, you now actually have the ability to take the number that you already have, people love their number, or select a new one. What we now do is we immediately ping that carrier's API that you selected. The phone plan immediately goes live, and you're able to manage it from inside the same application.
Right. So results. Why are we doing this? Why does this matter for us? So we started with a very quick MVP. And this is also important because when you start a project like that, you don't want to become your own mobile operator, right? You don't want to take the heavy load. You want to move very fast. So you want to get enabled. And this is exactly what we have done with Gigs. So it basically took us to launch an MVP. It took us basically no additional hires, no additional resources we needed. We had, thanks to our fantastic team in Berlin, we were able to get the first MVP delivered in almost a sprint. At the same point in time, what is in it for us? There are like two factors, obviously, which matter, especially for each scale-up. A, you want to also increase your revenue, and this is what we have done. So depending on what is the user renting, what smartphone subscription, and what is the rental plan, we even see a revenue boost for up to 2x. And more importantly, you create value for your user. So understanding that customers, this is a pain point, and they would like to get a phone plan on top of that, is obviously now providing us with an opportunity to exactly address this option by not becoming a telecom provider ourselves, by having the right partner behind the scenes. This is what we have done in a very simple manner, and in the end, eventually, it leads to one of the most, I think, most flexible phone plans or most flexible smartphone offers which we bring to the market. Having that said, and looking at the time, I hope we could spark a bit of interest about what Grover and Gix are doing. Dennis and myself will be around in the afternoon, so just hit us up if there are any questions. Thanks a lot for your attention, everyone.